Hi everyone, it's Alicia Plosz, Mrs. Curvy Globe 2019. Welcome to Body Confidence, where we learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like. Happy Wednesday, welcome back. So I am back in Canada today. It is cold, not like last week when we were in Las Vegas. I'm excited to be here. So last week I was Mrs. Curvy Globe, and this week I am Mrs. Curvy Globe 2019, and we got to crown a brand new beautiful queen, Tasha Haskins, and 2020 new legacy, brand new queen, and she's going to be my beautiful guest this week, which is very exciting. So please welcome her when she comes on with an outstanding round of applause for this amazing accomplishment. I'm very excited. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. It is interactive. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm not sure where you're from and what time zone you're in, so feel free to let me know that. Oh, good morning, Teresa. Good morning, everybody. Andrea, I miss you. So Andrea was my roommate when we were in Las Vegas, and I miss her. Hi, Lisa. Good morning, everybody. How's your day? How is everybody doing so far? So morning for me. I got my beautiful necklace on, Mrs. Curvy. I got it from Dr. Tracy as a gift. I was struggling this morning to get it on, so I got home from Las Vegas on Sunday, and I'm still, as of right now, hanging out by myself solo with my dogs, waiting for all my tests for COVID, for travel, from traveling through the countries to come back. And so this morning with my nails, I was having trouble getting my necklace on, so it was kind of funny, struggling by myself. But I did manage to get it on because I wanted to show it off and let everyone get a good peek at it. It's pretty fantastic. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. So, as you all know, I am Mrs. Curvy Globe 2019. And so for me personally, it was a big deal to be the very first inaugural Mrs. Curvy Globe. And I always wanted to make a difference in the world, and it's important to me to be yourself. So for those of you who do not know, I was the very first Mrs. Curvy, and I did compete the year before in China as Mrs. Globe. But I never felt that it wasn't enough to be on stage. That's right, Andrea. I didn't have you there to help me put my necklace on. Every morning she had to help me get my necklace on because I couldn't get it on, and you were not here to help me this morning. I never felt that I wasn't enough to compete on stage in China for the Mrs. Globe title. And then when the Mrs. Curvy title was created, and I was able to go back 6 months later and try out for that title and then essentially win the title of Curvy, I never changed. There was nothing about me that changed, but there was a perspective that changed in other people where they got to see me as beautiful and equal and enough. And I feel like that is such a powerful perspective to have, is because I didn't change, but it gave everyone else a platform to change. And I'm really excited to have Tasha come on because I want her to share her perspective, as she's the second. So I've had no one else to share this perspective with because I was the only one. So I'm really excited to have her the next. In hopefully the long line of the legacy that will continue in the Curvy title. Because I feel like this brand is amazing. So I'm very excited to have Tasha on as my guest. Hello, my beautiful friend. Look at that crown. How are you?
I'm still in awe.
As you should. Yeah, you did amazing. And well, the round of applause. Here's my round of applause. It's just me. So. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to you.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you. I was like, okay, I still got to look cute. I can't all of a sudden I show up looking, homeless or something. So we don't want to do
that. Oh, you're funny. So it's like, it's not even a week. You're probably still we always call it the pageant hangover, because your emotions are here the whole week and you're excited and you're trying, you get home and it's like, I'm tired, I'm home, I want my bed. But how do you feel?
I actually feel really great. I think, ironically, the most exciting thing to me was to begin exposing this to a lot of other women that are like you and I. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think I really took, I did kind of breathe it in for 30 seconds. Sorry, Tracy. I was like, oh, I'm going to get to it after the holiday. But I'm like, I can't help it. I wanted everyone to know, everyone to have the opportunity. So that's just kind of
share the love, right?
Yay. Yes, that's just a part of who I am. I can't help it. So I was reaching out to people already, just like, hey, you need to do this, and this is why, and I'm not going to go into it, but just need to do it. And so I'm just very, very excited for the growth, and of course, just for the global international opportunity, something that a platform I've never had, but I do believe that I'm ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for you, you've graced the pageant stage in other pageants. So how do you feel the Miss Globe pageant and or title that you just received is different for you? What do you feel inside is different for you?
Yes. Well, the moment I got off the plane, literally, I went from my Uber into like the boot camp. So, and I mean, it was like walking into a different parallel universe or something. I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, oh my gosh, where am I right now? Of course, yes, I was in like a conference room in a hotel. Okay, if we want to be practical. But it was just like, oh my gosh. And those first 2 days really set the stage for me, just as far as what Mrs. Globe and Win is really about. That was something incredibly different. I think other pageant systems I've been a part of course, they're about building confidence and putting your best foot forward, but this was like digging deep. Like we really want to like dig deep and make sure that what you're experiencing sticks and it stays, right? So that was something very different. Also, just the caliber. I mean, I felt like a celebrity the whole week, even though it was like a pandemic, even though we were like, not like, I don't know. It just was like, hi, like you guys are amazing every day, and that was just, an amazing experience. So I really enjoyed being in an environment that I felt matched the presence that I was trying to bring. And I've never experienced anything like that.
It's true. One of my friends, I said when I came home that I felt like this was my favorite pageant. And she said, why? And I said, honestly, I think it was COVID. And she said, that's weird. I said, no. I said, because we had a little bit longer to prepare. And the Zoom calls made everyone connect a little bit more. So we got to know each other. And it was Zoom versus telephone, like pre-recorded. So we got to see everyone's faces and connect a little bit differently. And then when we got there, the group was smaller. So we united differently. We had a little bit more of a bonding. There was a different energy. There's a different energy and connection in the room as a whole. And we all needed that, we needed that little bit of love in our soul that we were all exhausted from COVID, honestly. We're just sick of like COVID shoved down our throat. No offense to everybody. I know we needed it. We want to be safe. I get it. But we needed a reprieve. We needed a break, and we needed a little bit of community and love. And, when we went there and we were just empowered and enriched and just loved on by each other, and we needed that break. And when we all just drank it in, and it was exactly what we needed. And I said, I honestly feel like it was my favorite one, even just being like, I wasn't competing, just being from the outside looking in. I felt that COVID made it better, honestly, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And the struggles everyone got through to get them there made them stronger.
Miss Alicia, I apologize. Something happened and now I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay, I'm not sure.
Technology. So I don't think it's you. It's not you, it's me. Okay, so.
Okay. I can speak louder.
Hold on, I apologize. I want to hear every beautiful word that you're saying. Okay. And I'm aware that technology cannot be fun. Can you guys hear me though?
I can hear you, yeah. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't want to disconnect, so I'm going to do my best to listen as deep as I can and read your lips.
I will speak loud.
I mean, exactly. I'm like, where's Jeanette when I need her to sign language for me? Because
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So I have a question for you. So what made you choose the Miss Globe pageant system?
I didn't hear you. Okay.
Okay.
You looked really pretty saying it though. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back in. I apologize, everybody.
Okay.
So give me just a moment. Alicia, I know you're gonna do amazing doing a tap dance or something while I'm doing that. So give me just a moment here. Thank you.
Okay. So hi, you get just me for a second. So no, that's true. Like, so for me, I felt that it was exactly what everybody needed, was that little bit of self-love and connection. And Dr. Tracy is amazing and uplifting and brings everybody together, and the community and the sisterhood, and like they always call us globettes, and it's true. Like once you are a globette, you always want to come back. And I know I'll be back. Oh, hi, you're back. Speaking of, and
Yes,
can you?
I am. And it gave me like this little rewind. So now I know what question you asked.
Okay,
So I'll just answer the question. It
perfect.
was what made me choose the Miss Globe pageant system, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of creepy that it let me hear anyway. Okay, so actually, I was looking for what I call my pageant crescendo. And you think about the crescendo in music, right? It's kind of like the ultimate, like, oh, yes, yes, I like that exactly. And so a good friend of mine who was on the staff of Mrs. Globe, I've known her for many, many years. And she reached out to me the first year, and I was like, I don't really feel ready for all that, but I'll definitely promote it, in my network, sure. And then she reached out to me again, and I was just like, I'm getting to a place in my healing journey. No, I have not arrived, but I'm in a place where I think I'm ready to celebrate this. So I'm going to be turning 40 soon. I'm on the upswing of my healing journey, and it just seemed to really align with the mission and values of the Mrs. Globe organization and the WIN Foundation. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do this. And but really also was kind of the finishing little touch to it was during all the unrest that was happening in our country with the racial injustices and things like that. I wanted to know what the owner of Mrs. Globe thought about that, because as a woman of color, that meant something to me, that I was aligning with an organization, especially as my crescendo, that had a balanced thought of that. So I reached out to her directly, not understanding like how high up she was. I just was like, oh, I'm just gonna email her, and I just said, hey, what do you think about everything that's happening? Like, what are your thoughts on that? And an hour later, she went live on her page and just expressed how she felt. And she was so eloquent and just so on point that I said this before, that she could have put every politician to shame. Like the way that and I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, Tia, what do? I'm ready. Let's go. So really it was between understanding that the mission of the Mrs. Globe organization, as well as the WIN Foundation and the impact it's had on my life, as well as the season of life I'm in, I could not think of a better way to celebrate all of those things and how they just all came together in a beautiful, I don't know, perfect storm for me to be sitting in front of you today, carrying on your legacy, Miss Alicia.
I love that. It's true. Dr. Tracy is very eloquent, and she's got this passion in her for people, for humanity, and it's not one compartment. It's humanity, and I feel once you are part of it, you see it. You have to actually experience one of her speakings, either through the WIN program or through her new Facebook group, the Be She program. If you are not part of that, you should definitely jump on and be part of that, because it is definitely enriching. And a little bit of your soul probably needs to see that and hear that. Okay, so there is very much potential for growth in the Curvey development. And as we know, Lisa, Mrs. Italy Curvey, is now the inaugural Mrs. Classique Curvey, which is amazing. That is, this makes me tingly with all the growth that the Curvey title has had in the last week even. So much growth, so much potential for growth. And I feel this could be the biggest division in the Miss Globe brand, only because I'm a size 12. That is the average size woman in North America. That is not anything exceptional. That is just me walking into Walmart with every other mama out there, right? And so I feel that there is so much room for growth. How do you feel about the Curvey division? What do you see
so
for the way that we're creating?
Yeah, absolutely. It was super funny because I think you had said that in one of the classes, and I kind of nudged Laura and I said, no pun intended, right? Anyway, I thought it was funny you guys called Curvey the biggest.
The biggest, yeah.
Because we are the biggest. Well, anyway. Okay. Anywho, it was just really cute and funny.
And emotionally.
Yes. So, no, but having been in, I guess, I know Dr. Tracy doesn't like this terminology, but in the plus size industry for over a decade, I've been able to see different facets. And I would say that, to be a part of something that presents the curvy woman in such an elegant, classy, mainstream way, I think is really going to be the game changer. I, of course, have been a part of other Plus exclusive, organizations, and there's a beautiful thing there. I think the biggest difference, though, it's like I feel like I've always kind of felt this way, but it's like if they put, our beautiful Senya, myself, and Marilyn next to each other, it wouldn't be like some drop down, right? It wouldn't be like, oh, that's cute. They have their little misfit division, and I feel like it's just presented in such a way where it's like, wow, I got women wanting to, gain weight to be curvy like you and I, right? Or we have women now that there's, the 45 and up women that have been more seasoned, such as, Lisa, that are still beautiful and curvy and influential, to have an opportunity and really level the pageant playing field and level the playing field for leadership opportunities. Because I've always fought for that. So to be a part of something that's so progressive and so just like, yeah, we're going to be very intentional about this. We're going to present you just as beautifully and elegant. I mean, I loved, at first I was kind of like, about like the resort wear. I'm like, I want to wear a swimsuit. I'm not afraid of my curves. I'm just kidding. And so, but when I saw the dresses and just how they flowed and we just stood out, and not because we were big. We stood out because we were beautiful and we were elegant, and I loved it. I've been watching it over and over again. And so just the intentionality behind Dr. Tracy and her team's vision, and you obviously kind of planting that seed in her ear is coming to fruition. And I'm super excited to be on the ground floor of that, because I think there's so much that I can offer as far as bigger picture, as far as, any other way that we can incorporate this. And so, again, I'm just super proud to be a part of it. I'm super proud to see where it's going to go. I believe that there's a lot I'm going to be able to do with that. As far as already, to link arms with you and Lisa and just really champion this. I agree with you. We're probably going to be like fully packed in Palm Springs next year. Like seriously, like if I have anything to do with it, we will. And all of you guys out there already know, I've been like, hey, here's the link. I'm not even asking them. I'm just like, you need to do this, and we'll talk about it later. Perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just quality, beautiful women who are looking for a platform, who are looking for something to align with, but also, and you didn't ask me this, but I'm just going to go into it if that's okay.
It's
also,
good.
yes, and also for an opportunity to dualistically heal. I don't think the biggest thing I got sideswiped by, I guess, or blindsided by, was I didn't intend on bawling my eyes out every single day I was there. We're at a pink pajama party, and I'm just like, oh my God, these gifts, and oh my God. Dr. Tracy pulled me aside. I'm like, it's a pajama party. Like, seriously? And so just the overwhelming, when people say, oh, this was life-changing, they're usually associating that with a win, right? They're usually associating that with some form of tangible success. But for me, just like in my speech that I gave, winning, it was like I won going through this journey, and then having a cherry on top, with the experience. I mean, it just carried out. It wasn't just the classes. It wasn't just the Monday memos. Like literally it went up a whole 10 notches just being there. And I kept telling everybody, I'm like, I just feel like I'm like in a thought, like I'm in some urethral, like euphoric spiritual place, even though we're inside of a hotel ballroom. And it's you guys. And I'm super excited to be my piece in the quilt, if you will, of that, to continue to expand that experience for others. So I don't think people really know what they're getting into. I usually can handle anything. And I was a big crybaby the entire week, in a good way, because I was able to feel vulnerable and free, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like too much, but good, in a good way, So that's, you guys do not know what you're getting.
Your emotions leak, like my emotions come out my eyes. Yeah.
I know, yes. My emotions were all out of my eyes. I think I lost weight. Like, I'm pretty sure I did that week. Like,
It's true. It's true. Sometimes, like, you're healing, like you said. It's true. I find you have to know before you can grow, and sometimes things will hit you in unexpected places and from unexpected people, and someone will just say something, and you're like, wait, what? I felt that, right? Like, whoa, that was painful, but you needed it, and yeah, right? And it just like gets you, and you're like, that's exactly what I needed. And it's like, you're emotionally raw, so it hits you exactly right in the feels, right? Yeah, I know. It's good. And it is good. And it's sometimes as moms and as women and as we're givers, we're giving and giving and giving. And when you're at a place like a pageant, it's for you, 100% for you. You're doing it for you. It's a goal that only you can achieve. You are emotionally vulnerable. And so when you're at that state, mentally and physically and emotionally, everything is hitting you exactly where you need to hit it. And that's where you're growing. It's where you come back empowered and enriched in a way that you would never do it if you were doing it for somebody else. And that's why it's so important to have a goal that is only for you. And I feel it's so empowering to do it. Everyone's like, well, it's a pageant. I'm like, you have no idea. None. And the Mrs. pageants are so different because, especially like, I think the curvy division is so, like, after you have babies, your body is not the same. Like I said, me as a size 12, before I had my son, I was a size 12. I could never wear the same clothes that I could wear now. Right. Everything was higher and tighter. Just saying, just for full disclosure, right? And I'm sure once I go through menopause and the change, even if I'm a size 12, everything will be different. And so for all these women that are coming in to like menopause and their bodies are changing and they're losing like elasticity and their confidence levels are different. They're wanting a place to shine and wanting a place to win. And the Curvy title, like some of these women competed 20 years ago for Miss Globe. Doesn't mean they're ready to give up their pageant heels, their pageant title, their goals, their dreams. They need a new level of win, to showcase themselves as size beautiful. Because nothing's diminished in them, right? And I feel like everyone needs a place either to reinvent, rejuvenate, and or just to come out and put on some makeup and be you again. Because sometimes we get bogged down by life and bogged down by, like, life is hard. As we know right now life is hard, and you need a place to get out and recharge and be just be you and be your best you. Put your best face forward, right?
Absolutely. And I was going to share that one thing about being in a multi-divisional pageant system is that you find out that all of our insecurities are the same. So even people who are half my size are like, oh my God, I feel so fat in my swimsuit. I'm like, you could fit into like one of the legs of my pants. What are you talking about? You know, right? But it's all a matter of perspective and how we see each other. And I think it's so beautiful to have us all together because we actually all have the same challenges. So it's not even, I think I've always had a heart to kind of normalize where it's not so much like, hey, I went through all these things and so now I'm overweight. Because me, you know, when I was a college basketball player, you know, I was like a size 12, 14, 200 pounds, 6-pack, and I could run a whole game and run circles around my skinny friends. So I've just never been a small girl. I don't have like I used to be skinny, then my life messed up and now I'm big story. It's just I've just always been a curvy woman. And so embracing that and normalizing that is something that I also would love to do. And I love that we have the Mrs. Globe and we have the Classique, right? And we're all feeling the same way. We're all back there getting dressed, and I'm like, you know, putting on my, you know, my nylons, and they're like, oh, these nylons don't fit. We're all saying the same thing because we all see the same. You know, we're all going through those changes and those insecurities. And am I good enough? And it's really not weight specific. It's actually just mindset specific. And I really believe that going through the WIN Foundation and really taking in all of that Dr. Tracy is showing us is going to allow all of us to see ourselves the way that we should be seeing ourselves, and it won't be based on demographic, size, you know, place in our life or any of that. It's like, no, you are worthy to represent the things that are close to your heart and be a leader, period. You know, whether your nylons go on easy or they go on hard, right? Right. So my hope is to really to be able to give that mindset of just like my roommate, I called her my roomie, my beautiful Andrea Bennett, who won Mrs. US of A Globe. You know, she's like a quarter of my size, but we both were in our room going like, oh my God, what do I do? What about this? How does this pull on? Does that look good? Can you zip me up? I can't get, I mean, her little cute, but was like, I can't get zipped in my outfit. So it's not just us, right, that have this struggle or this challenge. It's all of us as women. And I think that that's what the Mrs. Globe brand is trying to do, is neutralize that weird while recognizing the differences, but neutralizing those things that make us feel like we're not good enough and like we're not ready and that we're not worthy. And that is what I'm excited about, just truly. So I don't look at it like, hey, I'm curvy and because I went through all these bad things. I'm like, no, this is how God made me. And I'm super proud of that. And I'm excited to have a platform and a company and an organization that champions that for women like you and I.
Well, I 100% agree with you. It's true. Like you said, the nylon, everybody puts their nylons on one leg at a time. Doesn't matter. We all have to do it the same way, right? It's 100% true. And we're all, sorry, my dogs are barking because my dad is with the tractor cleaning up the driveway with the snow, and
I'm
I'm
like,
sorry.
what does she keep looking at? I'm like, what does she look at? Am
I
I
was
that like awe-inspiring? She can't even look at me.
And I can't make them be quiet because they're all the way downstairs. I'm sorry because you can hear them barking. I'm sorry. It's because
It's
my
okay.
dad chose right now to pull the tractor in and clean my driveway. It's very kind of him, but I'm like, ah, sorry. It's so funny. Like, I don't know if you can hear them. They're really loud to me, but I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, I totally, like, when I went to China the first time, I was competing with the Mrs. Globe category, so I was the only one size 12 and over. And every single person in the room was having the exact same insecurities, the exact same fears, the exact same, I left my kids at home and I'm sad, or crying because they were home with their families. We're all just women. We all, when it breaks it down, we all feel exactly the same way.
Yes.
We are all our worst enemies and our biggest champions in this exact same breath. Right? So it's,
no, you're correct. You're spot on. And so I'm hoping, I'm actually not hoping, I'm believing, I'm speaking it out there that, you know, as Dr. Tracy would say, everything's working out for us, right? And that I think that the goal of the Mrs. Curvey brand is going to supersede even her expectations. And I'm excited to, like I said, to be on the ground floor of that. You know, looking back 20 years later, you know, and, you know, you and I and Lisa are going to be able to go, yep, we knew it. And so it's just, exactly, it's just going to be super, super exciting. And I promise you, the baton you handed to me, Miss Alicia, will not be dropped. It will be raised. And I, again, consider myself incredibly honored to co-brand with the Mrs. Globe organization and the WIN Foundation, because it's finally something deeper. Really quickly, I don't know how much time we have. Cut me off.
Okay. You got one more.
Okay.
Good. Go. Yeah.
Perfect. So I was going to say, you know, I kind of already was in the works of my healing journey. And so when I found out about the Mrs. Globe organization, I was like, you know, when you drop weight and, you know, you're like, oh, now I need to kind of tone, right? And the Reclaiming Me program was like that toning, right? So kind of like I'm getting my definition in my body and how to really operate with tools in my healing. And so I am loving that I get to still participate in that. And that's probably the most exciting part about this, you know, opportunity that I want to share is the WIN Foundation, is the Reclaiming Me program, because it's rocking my world. I mean, I faced some very big challenges, just literally days up to flying out of town, like major. And those who are my Reclaiming Me team know what those things are. And because of the tools I learned, I was able just to like, you know, kind of navigate my way through, did a little venting, but then kind of went through and was like, yeah, you know, and then was able to go on the plane like, oh, you know. And so there's something about not just having the tools, but knowing how to use them. And that's something that I'm very excited to bring to all women, especially back to, you know, the Black community as well. I just can't wait.
I agree. I love that Mrs. Globe has so many aspects for growth and emotional and like just so much empowerment and so many tools to put in our toolbox to make us better human beings.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like
so one message. Yeah, exactly right. We're always, you know what, we're practice makes progress. We're always we're always in a perpetual state of fixing ourselves, right? Because we're always growing. So what is one message of self-love that you could leave our viewers with today? One thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like,
don't
be long-winded, Tasha. Okay, that's what that meant. Okay, gotcha. I would say to be willing to invest in yourself and do the internal work. Everything else is going to fall into place. That's why when people say they don't look like what they've been through is because of the work that they've done on the inside. So please, I would admonish you to invest in you. It's not as fun as the aesthetics, right? It's, you know, going to a therapist or going to a Reclaiming Me class or those, you know, but just look at it as investing in you. And what's going to happen is everything else. I mean, I've been, you know, I've lost weight, I've all these different opportunities, jobs, everything have come into alignment because I chose me. And that's why I always say to everybody, I'll leave you with my quote, my own quote, which is, it's never too late to choose you, change your path, and walk in your purpose. And those are all choices that you have control over. So do the work and you will yield the results and the life lesson of self-love.
That was perfect. I loved it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being on today. Congratulations on being here. Is Mrs. Curvy Globe 2020. Tasha, we appreciate you. In the comments after, will you please put your social media so everyone can follow you and follow your journey from now until forever. I'm excited to see what you do with your title and the empowerment of women. You're amazing, and I appreciate you, and I was really excited to get to know you this week more so and in the future. So thank you. Next, we tune into Body Confidence with Mrs. Curvy Globe 2019. And my message to you guys always is, you're beautiful, brilliant, and brave. Go out and do the best you can do today. You are enough today, tomorrow, and always. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers to your success. Thank you, Tasha. Have a great rest of the day. Everybody else, happy Wednesday.